What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the first day of September, and here we are at $0.0037 right now, 6 hours and 50 minutes left in the day. We've hit a low of 0.0362 for the price. If we're looking at this here, I still think that we have more to go, you guys, but from a low to a high, we're right here at the 0.5. I think this journey doesn't end until we're at the golden ratio, an area that I think we will achieve, we will attain around the midway point of this year. I think that by the the second week, the end of the second week there of September. Did I say this year? I'm sorry, I meant this month. By the second week there of this month, if not early the third week, I would think that we have resolution. We find our support, and then going into that FOMC meeting, they'll announce rate cuts, and we should bounce from there. Anybody in the comments who is saying rate cuts are bearish? Yes. I've heard it all before. That's why I think we're moving down, because I think everybody perceives them to be bearish. So we're going to sell the news. We're going to sell the hype and then buy the news on this one, right? Rate cuts are not bearish. In fact, I made a video recently where we validate that rate cuts have actually been a result of moving the price up for the S&P and for crypto. And rate cuts have been the result of moving the price down for the S&P and for crypto. It's not about if they cut rates or if they hike rates, because both ways have gone both ways. We've seen the price move up and move down with rate hikes and with rate cuts. We've seen it happen both ways. What matters is the speed. Whenever we adjust, and we can make sense out of this, because whenever we adjust rates at a fast pace, that means there's instability in the market, and the Fed has to act quickly, or they believe they have to act quickly to stimulate the market or fix things, right? That's what they have to do to get inflation under control, to stimulate the economy, whatever it might be. But whenever rates are moving up or down slowly, that means the market's under control. That means the Fed has leisure. They don't have to do anything and act rash. They don't have to act in a brazen fashion. They can take their time. That means the markets are tame, or at least healthy. And so it doesn't matter if it's rate hikes or rate cuts. It matters the speed. And we're definitely cutting rates at a very slow speed here, right? We're presumed to get a 25 basis points, maybe 50 basis points at the most. It's really not that big, considering our last rate cut was back in November of 2024. So while everybody thinks they're so smart calling for the rate cuts to be bearish in the end and the death of the bull market, and that's going to cause the markets to go down, I assume that we're going to validate that opinion going into this meeting. We're going to move down across the board, and then afterwards we're going to move up. So if anybody in the comments is saying rate cuts are bearish, we're going to zero, it's a bear market, either you're being funny because I just said that there, or you're a troll and you didn't even watch this part, and you literally are wrong. And it's okay. It's okay. Maybe you're not a troll. Maybe you're just a bird. You're a parrot who's heard somebody else say this, so you think you're smart. But just look at the data, right? Look at the data. Maybe I think I'm smart. Maybe I'm the parrot. But I'm at least not repeating and regurgitating information that I just hear other people say. I'm actually looking for the information myself. And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to find anything that makes sense to go lower. And right now, bouncing off the 0.5 doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? We do have areas of support and resistance here. There's sense to be made from it, but I would think, maybe we find some support here, go up to the 382, and then come down to that golden ratio zone. Move up to about 0.0041, 0.0042, and then come back down to 0.033, 0.031, somewhere in that area. Maybe 0.035 at the absolute least. But let's look at the short-term stuff and see if we can validate that, okay? Looking at this on a 1 hour time frame here. It looks like we want to move up, but that 1 hour that 1 hour candle is not looking friendly at the moment, that's for sure. 1 hour RSI is bearish, stochastics are bearish, and the MACD is bearish overall. I'm definitely not impressed. We look at the 4 hour time frame here. The 4 hours got some bullish stuff going on. We actually do have some bullish divergence, higher lows here. Stochastics are bearish as hell, and the MACD is bearish as hell. But again, I could see us moving up a little bit. The RSI, the bullish momentum that we have building there, is all the way up to about 0.04, which is right at prior support. Backtest prior support for resistance. Let's see if there's any fibs that make sense out of that as well. And then, of course, we've got other things that make sense for us to go lower. I'll go over that in a second. Yeah, 0.04, 0.042, somewhere in that area. I could see us going up there. 0.039 right here to the 236, whatever. It's actually more common to pierce the 236 and not hit the 382 when working your way down than it is to pierce the 236 and not hit the 382 when working your way up. Typically, if you pierce the 236, you go to the 382. But here, I think we could find resistance right here at 004, somewhere just below or just above that. I wouldn't be surprised. If not, we just move down. Cool, we're just moving down. And if we are moving down, that's fine. I do think that we're in the midst of a correctional phase, a 1, 2, 3, an ABC correction, right? You've got this move here, and then this move's a little bit more intense, at least so far. At least it seems like it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a bigger move overall. The third leg typically is the biggest leg. 1, 2, 3 legs, ABC. That one right there would take us down to 0.035. And if it was a little bit bigger, 0.033 is that golden ratio area. So it's also right here at this prior low, prior high point. So it would make sense, a lot of sense to go down there. Once ZBCN is down there, I do expect that we're going to see some phenomenal growth. Okay, I very much would expect that we see this thing recover in a very short and rapid amount of time. By the end of September, we could even be at new all-time highs. If not sometime in October, absolutely, October will promote new all-time highs. ZBCN here, Zebec. $341 million, $14 million in volume. You're moving down. You're not getting a whole lot of volume, so that's nice. A low market cap like that, 341, you've got 100x potential. You even have multi-100x potential if this thing really catches on. If this is something that, you know, it's like the next Dogecoin, the next Shiba, the next Solana, whatever. It's one of those coins of the cycle. Yeah, you could really see this thing take off. I know a lot of people like to think SWI or Hyperliquid are those coins of the cycle, but they're not. There's always coins like SWI and Hyperliquid. They're coins that come out, everybody hears about them, they have excellent marketing, but they don't grow and they disappoint. They underperform the average coin because why? Because they came out at multi-billion-dollar market valuations. So, or at least SWI I don't think came out at that, but it's already there now. Like it doesn't have much more to go. You can't see $100 billion or more in your first cycle. I mean, you can, but it's just extremely unlikely. Out of the hundreds of thousands of cryptos that exist, we've seen it happen twice. The average crypto doesn't do that, not in their first cycle. So anyways, Zebec here, looking like it wants to move down, but inevitably pretty good area to acquire some more, right? This market cap's pretty low. I think there's a lot of growth to be had with this thing. I don't really have anything else I want to say. We're consolidating now. End of month, we should rally. Going into October, we should rally. End of the year, we're going to be rallying, I think, into January even. And I believe the cycle ends sometime in... I believe the cycle ends probably sometime in Q2 of 2026. So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. I don't think I have anything else I want to say. Take care. Bye-bye.